Do you sometimes feel like you get trapped in a continuous stream of thinking and you can't get out of it? It grabs you by the neck and it doesn't let go. Maybe it happens when you go to school in class while you are bored. You start thinking about your problems. You start thinking even about the situation. Maybe it happens when you are in the gym working out, listening to music. Or maybe it happens while you are alone, lying in bed at 2 a.m., thinking about things. And you don't know why are you thinking about them. Maybe it's about your past. Maybe it's about the future, some future situation that you may fear. Or maybe about your current situation. Either way, we get trapped in a continuous stream of thinking. And for some people, this thinking is so negative that they become anxious, they become stressful, they become fearful, and leads to even more suffering. So in this video, I'm going to tell you why this happens, why we overthink in certain situations, and how to overcome whenever this happens for you to have a more peaceful mindset during your day. So why this happens? Why you get lost in thoughts? This happens because you identify with those thoughts. You take them as who you are. So we all have a certain paradigm. This paradigm is conditioned by your past, and we see the world based on this paradigm, on this mindset, of this unique thinking, conditioned, limited by your past. So certain situations trigger you because you are identified with this thinking. Certain situations trigger you because you identify those situations with something that happened to you in the past. So, for example, okay, let's say you have always been very, very nervous and very fearful of presenting to a group of people or doing a presentation. That is your paradigm. That is all you have known during your life. So this is how you see the world. And every time this situation happens, it triggers your brain. Your brain starts giving you thoughts and you identify with those thoughts. That's why you feel nervous. That's why you feel anxious whenever you deliver to a group of people a presentation. That's all you know. And this can happen in every situation. All right? Certain situations trigger our conditioned thinking and make us react and overthink. And that's why we suffer. Let's take another situation, okay? Let's say you're in the gym and you start feeling anxious because maybe these people around me are looking at me and they are judging. Okay? Have you thought about why you think this way? Why you think this way in the first place? If you just see the situation from above, it's just a bunch of people lifting weights. That's it. I like to put the camera example. Let's say you're watching through a camera in the top of the building and you're watching just the gym. Look at you. Look at you from above while overthinking. Doesn't it look stupid? doesn't mean you look foolish, right? It's just a normal environment, and you in your mind, you put a veil of thinking which totally distortions reality. And this happens in every situation we overthink. Whatever it is, we put a veil on the situation. And that is how and why we react to it in certain ways based on our condition from our past life. And that is why we worry, we overthink about certain things. Now, once you identify those patterns of yourself, you have to do introspection with this. You have to self study yourself. See in what scenarios, maybe you have, um, maybe in one of the examples that I have put, you have seen, you have thought about yourself doing these things. You have identified a pattern in yourself. So you have to do a lot of introspection, self study, and see in what scenarios do you react. Once you identify the scenarios that you react, you have the power to decide and to choose to act in a different way. But let's say you are in the middle of the night, laying in bed, overthinking. How can I act? How can I act there, Marco? I can't do anything. I'm just overthinking. I can't stop thinking. Look at you from above. Look at from the camera example. You are looking at yourself through a camera. Don't you look like, what is this guy doing? Just worrying about seemingly unimportant things. Because the things you are worrying about, maybe to another person is foolish. Because he's not conditioned the way you are. For you, there are big problems. They're really, really big problems. But that is because you're identified with your thoughts, your conditions of thoughts. Let's take another example, okay? Let's say you get really nervous and overthink when you approach to talk to a girl. Every time you go to a girl, you get nervous, okay? The same thing. Your mind is throwing you things for you to identify with it. Oh, she's so cute, or oh, what is she thinking about you? Something like that. Maybe your mind is saying all the things, and you identify with it, and you get nervous because you only know that paradigm of thinking. Change your paradigm just to experiment, to test. Change your paradigm in one scenario, in one situation. And let's say you are, I don't know, Bruce Wayne, or I don't know, some man with, who is good talking with girls. Put that paradigm for a second and go approach her. Now your thinking is different. Now, what happens? You have changed your vision. You have changed your identity, right? And maybe it doesn't work for certain of you because your mind is still in the background throwing you things and you're still picking them up. But that is another example you can choose to step out of your thinking and choose to act differently because you can really act differently. You can really stop that from identifying from those thoughts. You can really stop that and be free. Sorry, what is one tip that I can give you? Well, there's a lot of things that you can do to be able to step out of your thinking if you have been taking over it and you really are feeling really anxious. So, what can you do? Well, there's a lot of things you can do, but I'm going to give you one in this video. Try and make a breathing exercise. This takes your attention out of your thinking, whatever problem you're thinking about, and brings your attention into your body. So do a breathing exercise. Maybe you know already how to do meditation. If not, you can just breathe in and exhale more slowly. Exhale more slowly. You can do that for 5 minutes and you will have taken your attention out of your mind and into your body. And you will feel much better. But again, the main problem is identifying with your thoughts. You have to have self-awareness to see in what situation you react, in what situation you overthink. Notice those patterns. Maybe it's very, very good to note those situations and note the thoughts that you have identified that trigger you in those situations. It's very helpful to note your limiting beliefs or whatever you want to call it. Maybe make a journal of them. It's really important, really, really helpful. So those are some tips that you can do that will help you whenever you overthink and whenever you fall into this deep illusion that is um, your condition thinking. So for overthinkers who really also distract themselves while working, while doing the things that they have to do during the day, I have made a video about focus, which gives you a strategy that a lot of successful people use in their daily lives to master things and to focus only on one thing until you master it and without distracting. And I've made a video about it. This is my last video. You can click on it and I will see you in the next one.